Hey there, my Equalizer fans. It's your girl, Barbie J here, and we are back with another wonderful episode. Can you believe this? We actually had an episode that didn't include Detective Marcus Dante, and it was still an absolutely wonderful episode. And we have here Season 3, Episode 16, Love Hurts. So let's get started with this recap because I enjoyed this episode. Y'all let me know down in the comment section what y'all if you enjoyed it or not, which parts was the best for you. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel as of yet, please take a moment right now and hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell. It'll let you know every time I upload a new video, and then you can continue to get all this great new content that I'm about to throw at you guys. Then I ask you to give me the thumbs up, the like button, write a comment. Got to keep the conversation going and share if you feel like it. All right. So this episode starts off with Robin walking down the street and Fisk yelling mall cop at her. You know how that gets on her nerve as he gets out of the car and she threatens to throw her coffee on him if he calls her that again. But he not gonna stop. So he wants her to go to Paris and obtain a file with intel on the location of enriched plutonium rates or something like that. He wants her to contact a man named Rick Dawson who has been underground for several years. Robin knows him from way back, and he was MI6 and she was CIA, something like that. And Fisk is telling Robin that Dawson was in Brussels and almost killed 4 civilians, which we all saw that they attacked him first. You know what I mean? So Robin says that doesn't sound like the Rick that she know. Fisk said if Dawson shows up in Paris, she's to enlist his help to retrieve that file. And Robin is like, why would he agree to help me? And Fisk said to tell him that they, talking about the CIA and MI6, would forgive his past indiscretions and he could come in from the cold. And that was him killing somebody who they was looking for named Diego or whatever it was. But anyway, then we see Delilah and Aunt Vi at home discussing their phone calls that they both received from Robin from an airport or something like that. She's going out of the country. And they also talked about Dee's job interview for an internship at a chic boutique that she needed for her, for her grade or something like that. So then they switch over to Mel and Harry in the Batcave. I love calling it the Batcave because they got all that stuff down there like Batman had, but better. So talking about their dream home, which is back on the market, and they had to let it go years ago when Harry needed to fake his own death and go underground so that he would not go to jail for life, So then they get a call from Robin to find Rick Dawson, and Mel asks, she asked her what type of things, did this guy like, which would help them find him. And Robin remembered these particular cigars, and Harry found out that they are only sold at one place in Paris. So of course Robin went to Paris and staked out that shop until Rick went in to purchase them. But it wasn't Rick who went in. He sent somebody in to get him, a little kid or something like that. Since when they let kids go in there and buy cigars, I don't think you could do that here in the States. Anyway, so Robin finally spotted Rick, and they talked, and he thought she was there to kill him, and you saw he had the knife out at his side, and she explained that she wasn't, and told him about the file, and he didn't believe her. And then they got into a fight where Robin could have cut his throat but didn't, and he finally agreed to help her. But it was something about the way she touched his face, when she threw down the thing and put a hand on his shoulder. I was like, oh, that move looked a little bit too familiar for me. I don't know why. But then we learn later on, right? Don't we? So now we see that Delilah killed her interview and, and was told that she stood out from the rest of the candidates and got the internship. But, after the sales lady went to get the employee handbook for Delilah and, speak with the owner, Rowena, who we saw gave Dee a quick little once over look, she came back and told Dee to be there at 9 a.m. that she would be working in the stockroom. So Dee was like, I thought this was a sales position and even possible styling. And is it something I have to work up to? And the sales lady gave her an excuse like, the sales lady's name is Stacy, by the way. So she said, there's so much, you have to learn back there. And so Dee is like, no disrespect, but is there something you're not telling me? Why am I really being relegated to the back? I said, uh-oh, D caught on, and so did I, honey, y'all, because I know y'all all saw it as well. So now we see Robin and Rick working together to get info on where and how to, find that file. Robin first gets into a fight with an apartment owner, and once she's down, they break open a wall and find a duffel bag in there. Robin gets 2 sets of fingerprints off of the bag and sends it to Harry, who provides her with info on one of the sets belonged to a guy named Freddie, who Harry happens to know and says he always copying him or stealing from him or something like that. And then there was a piece of paper in the bag that led them to another spot where the person whose fingerprints were, I guess that guy Freddie should be. But then when they got there, the store was ransacked and the person they was looking for was on the floor dead. So Robin realizes that whoever wants that file is willing to kill for it. So this is getting like, deep. So now we see Harry and Mel driving back from seeing their dream house and all excited about it. And when they get a call from the broker letting them know that there were 4 offers on the property and that the owner is emotionally invested in who they sell to. And since they seem to connect with it, talking about Harry and Mel, and were the only couples who didn't mention tearing down walls, if they want it, she's confident that it's theirs. So they said yes, and they were so excited, and the broker said she'd send them the paperwork to sign. So as they are, celebrating and everything, Robin calls and asks Harry to tap into a laptop and lets him know that he'll never have to worry about Freddie stealing from him again. Because he was like, what, is Freddie not cooperating? And that's when she had to let him know the deal. So now Dee gets home and Aunt Vi senses something is wrong because she asked about the interview and Dee wasn't all excited. And she told, even though she said she got it. So she was like, what's going on? And Dee tells her that they're making her work in the stock room because of her braids. And the owner said they are too ethnic and not a good fit with the Chavez culture or something like that. So if Dee wants to be out front, basically, she has to wear her hair straight like Stacy had it. So Aunt Vi says not only is it racism, it's against the law. And Dee said, I know because I looked it up and saw that the Crown Act passed in 2019 prohibits this type of discrimination based on hair. And I actually remember learning about this when that TV show used to be Our Kind of People or something like that. Our Kind of People. There was a TV show and it was based in Martha's Vineyard, and she was a hair person who did hair and made hair creams and stuff. So that's where I learned about that. So I knew that was true. Anyway, so Dee asks Vi what she should do, and Vi tells her that only she can make that decision and that whatever she chooses, make sure that it sits right with her because she's the only one who'll have to live with it. And you know what? I really like how Aunt Vi and Robin allow Dee to make her own decisions on some of these issues she faces. But, with a little bit of guidance in the right direction, they always push her. And I love that about them, this family. But now back to Rick and Robin. They chatting and catching up over a drink in his apartment. And we learn what I had felt earlier after Robin didn't kill Rick, is that they had some sort of romantic relationship. Go Robin. All right. So Rick tells Robin the reason he killed Diego was to protect her. Then Rick said he had strong feelings for her back then, even though he didn't know her real name. And then he adds that was a long time ago. And Robin said that might have been a long time ago, but it doesn't, mean those feelings are gone. And just as they were about to lean in for the kiss, because they were leaning in about the kiss, Harry calls with info that sends them rushing to a church just outside of Paris. And they arrive and find what they're looking for. And that was, what was it? That SIM card. It was that SIM card with the file on it. And that's when Diego and 4 of his men with guns show up. So that now they learn that he is not dead. And I had a feeling about that. I don't know why, because it looked like he was shot in the shoulder when they showed him getting shot, when they played it back. So now they are surrounded, and Diego takes, the little SIM drive that contains the file, and he tells how he survived. Why do people do that? Criminals have the need to tell, yeah, this is what happened, that's how it happened, and you thought you killed me but you didn't, and all this stuff. I was like, why are we wasting time with that? Just kill him, But he said a local family found him and nursed him back to health, and then he killed them because he couldn't take a chance on anyone knowing he was still alive. I said, that is jacked up. I mean, that's a criminal. That's a creep. I can't stand it. But anyway, then he told his men to take care of Rick and Robin. That's when the gunfire and fighting began. Diego jumps into a car with his men to escape, and Fisk pulls up and yells, "Mall cop, get in!" And so she and Rick jump into the car and they give chase after Diego. So of course Robin is calling Fisk out on all of his deceit as he continues to call her mall cop. And Rick asks, "Why he keeps calling you that?" And she stated, "Because he's an ass." Was like, oh my God. So anyways, Fisk's windshield is bulletproof, thank God, because they are shooting at him, which is great. So he's so proud of that that the bullets are bouncing off, because they caught up to Diego's people. But then Diego's man pulls out a large contraption and Robin asks, "Oh, is your windshield missile proof? Because it looked like a freaking missile." So they dodge the missile while driving. He shoots it and they dodge it, and Fisk gives Robin a contraption and asks, does she know how to fly a drone? And Robin is like, oh yeah. Then Fisk says he needs Diego, alive, and Robin drops the drone in front of Diego's vehicle instead of on top of it, and it flips over, and I think about 4 of them run out into a building that was close by. So Robin, Rick, and Fisk, they give chase and they manage to take out Diego's 3 men, and Diego then grabs Rick and puts a gun to his head and says, "Let him leave. Oh, let me leave." He said, "Let me leave with the file and he won't harm her boyfriend." So they all knew they were messing around back then. Anyway, so then Fisk says the file is the mission, basically telling Robin that he doesn't care about no damn Rick and that she can kill him if she wants. But this is where Rick says, "Do what you have to do, McCall. After all, love hurts." And I was like, hold up. First of all, that's the episode title of this episode. But I also think it had something to do with that movie. Remember, they was in the apartment and they had watched years ago and they were reminiscing about it, and they were saying how the man got shot through the shoulder and it went straight through or something like that. So Robin is looking at him and she shot through Rick's shoulder blade, and I'm presuming and that's where it was, and the bullet hit Diego and Rick fell over to the side. Oh, honey, I was like, go ahead, Robin, with the shooting skills. So now back to Delilah, who shows up to the store to tell Stacy that she isn't taking the internship. Stacy is disappointed, and Delilah explains to her why she's turning it down and that it doesn't sit right with her heart, and adds it shouldn't sit right with Stacy's either. And she shouldn't have to sacrifice her dignity. So Stacy explains why she deals with Rowena and adds she doesn't have a choice. And honestly, y'all, I kind of understand Stacy's position in this matter. She may not have the same support system like Dee and people who could help her, and she might not can't find another job, and she has to do what she got to do. And I get it. You know what I mean? So, sometimes we can't be so hard on people, even though we feel that they're wrong. We just have to deal with our beliefs and not worry about theirs. So Dee wishes Stacy good luck and is about to leave the boutique at that moment, and Rowena comes downstairs and asks Delilah, why is she on the floor and not in the stock room? And Dee responds, well, honey, you don't have to worry. You won't see me anymore. I've decided to look for an environment that aligns with my values. So a customer overhears and asks Rowena what Dee is talking about. And she states, Dee's just another entitled intern who thinks she's too good for the job. And Dee says, not too good. I'm too proud, baby. I said, you better go tell him. And she adds that Rowena feels that my hair is unfit for the showroom floor, which is not only racist, but a violation of the law. And the customer asks if it's true, and Rowena denies it, and then said, I don't have any problem with Stacy on the floor, right, Stacy? And instead of Stacy taking this moment to defend or support Dee, her sister, she states that she doesn't know what Dee is talking about. So Dee's like, wow, and leaves as the customer looks on, seeming a bit skeptical about what she just heard from Rowena and Stacy. And then we see Robin and Rick on the tarmac. They saying their farewells, but Rick wants Robin to go with him back to England so that they can give this thing between them a real chance. But Robin explains, as tempting as it is for them to see where this can lead, she has a situation at home that she really needs to figure out. I said, oh, really? Do you now? So I'm like, well, all right now. But honestly, I was thinking about Delilah when she said that. However, when Rick said he's a lucky man, my mind went straight to Detective Marcus Dante. And like I said, it didn't even bother me that he wasn't in this episode. And maybe it's because there was another love interest in the picture with Robin. You think maybe that's it? Anyway, so Rick gives Robin one of his cigars and says, if the wind ever changes, Robin said, I'll know where to find you, baby. And then we see Harry and Mel deciding that they don't want to get that house. Both of them were basing their decisions upon how the other thought, and was feeling about buying a house. So they are, happy with this new life they have and not the life that they had dreamed of. Then Robin gets off the jet and Fisk, who is upset with the SIM card that they got from Diego, is blank. And she tells him, look, you got Diego and to take the win. And he's like, take the win. He reminds her that, her mission was what her mission was. And she tells him that if he gives her imperfect intel, he'll get imperfect results. And added, she's tired of him manipulating her. And until he starts dealing with her openly and honestly, this thing between them isn't going to work. Then he said, well played, McCall. And I couldn't believe it. I said, what? He finally called her by her real name? And then it ends with D, Robin and Vi. They're at the table talking, and Robin tells D how proud she is of her, speaking truth to power and made a difference. And then the doorbell rings, and it's Stacy with her hair in its natural state. I said, well, go ahead, Stacy, looking cute. And D says, nice hairdo. It must be your day off. Ooh! I was like, ooh. So Stacy apologizes for what happened at the store. She needed her to have her back and she couldn't. And Dee said, couldn't or wouldn't? I said, uh-oh. And again, Stacy said, well, maybe a little bit of both. Then started with all of the reasons why she needs that job. And this is what she needs to do to survive. And Dee says, maybe, but at what cost? So she says, sorry again. And Dee says she appreciates that and adds that maybe she should save up those sorries for the next girl of color she lets down. I said, oh, she hit her with another one below the belt. Poop, poop, poop. Then she closes the door in her face and goes back to the kitchen with Robin and Vi are still sitting there listening. And they both looked at her and stated, well done, girl. And they were so proud of her for sticking to her guns. And that's the way it ended. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode, because like I said, I thought it was a great episode, even though Detective Dante wasn't in it. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.